where they come from. If they come from the border of Thailand, they will be sent back to the border of Thailand. Okay. However, even though Malaysia has not signed the 1951 UN Convention on Refugee, however, Malaysia have been receiving refugees since 1975. And Malaysia accept refugees on humanitarian ground. Okay, this is also pressure from the international government when in 1975 they pushed back refugees. In 1975 we had influx of Vietnamese for Vietnam War, and also we have Cambodians from Khmer Rouge, Pol Pot. They are killing the Muslim, especially, but not Muslim all, but mostly who come to Malaysia, the Cambodian Muslims. Okay, so they come to Malaysia to seek protection, and then when there are too many of them, the government cannot deal with them. They push back the boat. So we have boat people, Vietnamese people, and all together, according to the UNSCR, we have like 240,000 Vietnamese who came to Malaysia, but later they were all sent to the third country. Similar with Cambodia, they were sent to other third country. Malaysia only just transit. They transit in Malaysia, and then after that, some other countries will take them as their own citizens. For the Vietnam boat people, the last, in 2005, Malaysia sent back the last of Vietnamese boat people to Vietnam. So this is called repatriation, sending them back to their own country, because Vietnam is now considered as safe. Same with Cambodia. Okay, they are considered as safe, then government can send them back to their own country. Okay, this is what happened in 1975. This is like a very big, and then the Malaysian government has to open in Pulau Redang, the island, and then put all the Vietnamese boat people in that island. If you read from history, they suffer a lot because they don't have enough facilities, and all the necessary, their needs was not taken care of. Okay, that was in 1975. And then we have in 1990s Bosnian. Okay, this is when we have Bosnian War in Bosnia, war between Bosnia and Serbs. Okay, Serbs were killing them, and then with the pressure of some academician from IIUM, if you know Professor Kamaonia, she retired already, but she wrote a letter to the Prime Minister at that time to go and get the Bosnian and bring them to Malaysia. So Malaysian government actually airlifted the Bosnian from Bosnia to Malaysia, okay, using Army Air Force flight. Okay. So that in 1980s, but then from Myanmar, since 1980s, a trickle of people of Rohingyas from Arakan start to come to Malaysia. But at that time, the number is small, so they were not really detected. And some of them, like a few that I know, they've been in Malaysia since 1982. So long time, and then they got married, and then they didn't become a Malaysian citizen, because Malaysia is very difficult to give citizenship. But they have PR, permanent residence, to stay here. So at first, we have a big number of Chin and Kachin from Myanmar. Okay, Chin and Kachin, they are not Muslim, they're Christians. Okay, because in Rakhine area, the Buddhists want the area to be totally Buddhist dominated state. Those with Muslim or Christian, they persecute them. So the first people who run away from Myanmar was Kachin together with Myanmar Muslims and Rohingyas. And later, when they start to burn Arakan, we start to kill Rohingyas in Arakan, then we have like influx of Rohingyas in Malaysia. Okay, so that is like the big people, the biggest number of refugees that come to Malaysia. But we have also other refugees who came to Malaysia, which is from Somalia, from Eritrea, from Afghanistan, from Palestine, from Syria. But they are not that big. The number is not that big. Okay. But then if we live in Kuala Lumpur, we can feel their presence. Okay. And also now from Yemen, there's so many also from Yemen. Since the war between the Houthis and the Saudi Arabia, Yemen also ran. Okay, so, but the number is not big. The biggest number is from Myanmar. Okay. So currently, there are 182,120 refugees registered with UNHCR. However, not all refugees are registered. Probably the unregistered one is like more than double than the registered one, because not all, it's not easy to register and to be accepted by UNHCR, because once you registered under UNHCR will hold responsibility for you. If you have to go to the hospital, they will pay for the fees and all. So UNHCR also lack fund to register all. So they registered, but then slowly, not really massive, not like in Turkey. They did massive registration, because all refugees in Turkey are given opportunity to become citizens, and they are given the equal right as citizens also. They can go to school, they can go to hospital for free, they can work. So so they register all refugees. But Malaysia, we don't have that refugee convention, so therefore the Malaysian government do not register except just UNHCR. Okay, so that in Malaysia. And how are these people come to Malaysia? Okay, since we have the biggest number of refugees in Malaysia is from Myanmar, registered with UNHCR, it's about 156,000 refugees from Myanmar. Okay, how do they come? Okay, with refugees, they come together with the problem of smuggling and trafficking, human smuggling and human trafficking. Okay, what is the difference between human smuggling and human trafficking? Okay, human smuggling is you pay certain amount of money to an agent who will take you from your country that you want to live until you arrive in the country of your destination. And then you pay your fees, that's it. And then you got nothing to do with the agent anymore. Okay, that is smuggling. They smuggle into another country. But trafficking is different. Trafficking is the one who are being trafficked has no rights. They are slaves. Okay, meaning that they take you and then they sell you. Okay, you traffic when you arrive in the country destination, like in Malaysia. You still have to pay fees for them. You are like working for them as slave. They still demand from you the money to for protection, to ensure your safety. That is trafficking, meaning that they don't let you go. They hold on to you. They make your money. All you work and half of what you earn, you give to the agent. That is human trafficking. And even though we don't see so many, we don't hear or watch news on the arrival of refugees from Myanmar, but we still, I think about before and during the Ramadan, I found out that there are some few just arrived within just 2 weeks before Ramadan this year. And normally the one who just arrived, they were female. They were brides. Okay, they were brides for the Rohingyas here. The Rohingyas here would pay around 20 to 25,000 ringgit for the agent to bring the Rohingyas from their country or from Bangladesh to Malaysia. Okay, and among all the brides, I found out this is like earlier than that. I think last year I interviewed 9-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl who went on the boat. She has no money at all because everybody was like, jump into the boat to Malaysia. She also jumped into the boat because she has no parents. Her parents already here in Malaysia. They left her in Myanmar, in Arakan. So and then somebody helped her, paid for her, and then when she arrived in Malaysia, actually she didn't find her parent here. So somebody took care of her. 9-year-old, through harshness. Okay, that is how did it come here? If you want to trace the footprints, okay, not all Rohingyas who jump into the boat, they are willingly want to go to live. There are also agents who pull the Rohingyas. There's pull and push factor, who persuade the Rohingyas to get into the boat, because this is big business. Okay, because they thought they don't have to pay, but then in the middle of the ocean, they start to demand pay, and if they didn't pay, they're going to kill them. Okay, so they went into the boat, and then there's one guy. In fact, I have his pictures because I interviewed him in Aceh. Actually, I went to Aceh and interviewed him, and now he's here in Malaysia. Okay, his name is Hassan. Hassan ran away to come to Malaysia to save his life because in Bangladesh, Rohingyas cannot go to school. But he's like, Rohingyas and Bangladeshi, they look almost the same. So he sneaked into the school and went to school until he can speak English, until he's like 16 years old. Okay, so and then they found out that he's Rohingyas. So he ran away, and then this agent persuaded her to get into the boat. So he get into the boat, and then in the middle of the ocean, they start to demand money, demand phone numbers from him. So he gave his parents phone number, and then this agent called parent. They said, if you don't give money, we're going to kill him. So the parents give the whatever gold that they have in order to save his life. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, the one who come through Thailand, okay, if you read like in 2013, 2014, and you read about the mass grave in Wang Kaliang, the border of Perlis, mass grave of Rohingyas. Okay, there is the military, the Thailand military, actually they are doing business. Okay, they are the agents. Okay, so when you get into the boat, you have to pay your agents. Okay, in the middle of the ocean, you are going to change to another boat. Okay, this is I get from my interviews of 60 Rohingyas, how they come to Malaysia, and then after they change, then the military, the Thai military would protect them. Okay, and then they take the boat and go into the jungle of Thailand. Okay, in the jungle of Thailand, the agent will pay per head, if I'm not mistaken, 30 USD per head of Rohingya to the military, so the military will not bother them in the jungle. Okay, so in the jungle of Thailand, okay, all the Rohingyas need to give them phone numbers so that in Malaysia, their relative in Malaysia. So the agent will call the relative in Malaysia. The relative will send money. After they send money, then they are released to go to Malaysia. Okay, they put them in Proton Saga, 11 of them, 5 in the car, 6 in the trunk. So how they sit in the trunk? Okay, one guy sit here, one guy up on the back, and then close. 11 of them from either Kota Baru, from Golo, or from Padang Besar, up to Pulau Pinang or to Kuala Lumpur. Just imagine the ride, and then some of them died, of course, in the enclosed space. They cannot breathe. Okay, so these are for those who are able to pay. But if they cannot pay, okay, they have no relative in Malaysia, and then they cannot pay the agents. But the agent already paid the military, so the agent need money, they need profit. So these Rohingya are sold to the fishing boat or plantation in Thailand. Okay, so those who sold on the fishing boat, I interviewed one who ran away. Okay, they work in the boat, and then the captain, the owner of the boat, would say that you need to work for 2 years in order to what you call to redeem yourself. This is your ransom. You pay your own ransom. You work for 2 years, then you are free to go. Okay, and if you get sick in the boat, okay, if you get sick, they will kill you, just shoot you and then throw you into the ocean. But sometimes they want to save their bullets. If you're sick, they just throw you in the ocean without killing you first. Okay, that if they work in the boat. But some of them also work in the plantation. Ladies become prostitutes. All this happen in Thailand until they can free themselves and come to Malaysia. Okay, and also we have a few Rohingyas here in Selayang who have babies because being raped, or they have, but then they don't kill their babies. Okay, so they took care of their babies being raped in the camp. Okay, so that probably in 2014, 2015, 16, there's a big hoo-ha in the news where the Malaysian government found on the mass grave, and then how can they enter Malaysia? Of course, they pay the immigration. So the agent actually work, the 3 countries work together to smuggle and traffic the Rohingyas. Okay, this is Rohingyas. But then in Turkey, the first, before the Turkish government built the wall in 2016, they start to build the wall that separates Syria and Turkey. So before that, there is no smuggling, there is no trafficking if they want to enter Turkey. But if they want to go to European countries by boat, they have to pay also. So that is smuggling also happened there. But in 2016, after the Turkish government started to build like 5-6 foot concrete wall between the border, only in the mountain there is no border. Then the Syrian also have to pay their agents to come into Turkey. So smuggling and trafficking is a big business. It's profitable. Just imagine if per head you get 2,500 ringgit, and you have how many so you count that 200,000 came to Malaysia. You times that with 2,500 ringgit. That how rich they are. Okay, so it is a big business. Is mafia group involved with all this smuggling and trafficking. And if you read before, like few years ago, there is a guy died in a drain in Penang. Okay, she was murdered by mafia group, their own mafia group. Okay, because he want to tell the police what actually happened, all this smuggling and trafficking. Okay, that is the first round. Okay, on history and what happened. And I have the, I have not, I have presented this in conference, but I have not really written as my paper on Rohingyas or how they come here. But all my notes are there. Uh, at first, for me, it's very hard because when they tell the stories, I want to cry always because it's like unimaginable. Uh, when they experience how they witness babies being slaughtered, it's like a cute. You have a watermelon. They said it's like you cut a watermelon. That is how they cut babies. Okay, in front of parents, in front of brothers and sisters, their family in the villages, and also the Rohingyas they are not educated. They have no right to go to school. They are allowed to go to school until primary. Secondary school, according to the Myanmar government, they are allowed to go to school. They went to school, but the teachers refused to teach them. So like 80% of Rohingyas are uneducated, cannot read and write. Okay. So I think that is the first round. Mubarak, you have another question?
Yes, Doctor, I have plenty of questions. Don't worry. Thank you, Doctor, for the first round. It is actually indeed a very insightful start, I would say. Wanted to say a very probably insightful, interesting, but at the end of the round, it started to be more dark of the story. So yes, it is actually indeed a very good sharing from you, Doctor, and it actually really enlightened us on how the refugees, especially the Rohingyas here. Yes, Doctor, were you trying to say something?
No, no.
Oh, okay, sorry. So yes, that means it enlightens us that the refugees does not come here by magic. It is not suddenly they were here. It is not by way of aeroplane. It is not by way of they were trying to travel or having a nice holiday. There is actually a very huge background story on how each and every refugee groups that
I
happen.
forgot to tell you.
Yes,
Okay,
please, Doctor.
they travel in a boat, fishing boat. Okay, not really big boat, a fishing boat, and then they feed 400 people in that fishing boat. Normally, if you go to Pulau Perhentian, that size the boat, Pulau Perhentian or Pulau Kapas, and then they put 400 people, and then in order for the people to fit in that small boat, they have to squeeze themselves like this, and uh, they have to hug their own knees. So they bring their own knees to their chest and then hug it, and then they did it for 15 days. And then the lady I interviewed, she said that her children, they bring 2, 3 children, sit on her chest for 15 days. So when they arrive, their muscle become atrophied. They cannot even straighten their body. It's like died, their muscle. So just imagine, and then they cannot bath. There's not enough food. Many died in the boat. Okay, because food only can last 4 days, but they have to stay in the ocean like 15 days. And some of them puke, some of them, so it's like very filthy, very, I mean, it's unimaginable, inhumane. Okay, so I don't want to think of it. It's like, oh my goodness. We haven't experienced that.
And we always pray that we don't, inshallah, any of us here experience that kind of experiences. I mean, that is one of the things that we should always be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the condition that we are in. Sometimes we forget the ni'mah, the conditions that we are is one of the biggest risk or rizki that we have in our daily life. not facing these kind of experiences and be mingling in another country, not on your own state of place or your own home, and having going to have to go through this kind of experience, such as the one that Dr. mentioned, 11 in Saga. So that is, that is actually really, that is really one of the, it actually challenges, and that is perhaps one of the stories that there are many unknown or untold stories that
Yes.
perhaps that are much worse, that we have. Yeah, but it is a very good opportunity for the doctor to actually have the opportunity to interview, and perhaps it can be a documentary, doctor, not just only a book. Perhaps you can make a documentary stories actually.
Yes, we
You know.
can. If somebody is like probably your mission club want to do a video documentary, we can, so
Yeah.
that people have knowledge
Yes, take note, line up.
aware.
Macam tu. Okay, so that perhaps can be done in future to enlighten people on actually the situation. And I like also that the doctor mentioned on who are the refugees initially, not just on the history. So not everyone who come from the country which are known to be refugees are automatically refugees. So we should be aware of that. And of course, for law students, especially regarding the sign of the convention, UN convention. So if law students who have taken international law should be aware of that. Try to do research on that as well. I remember a colleague doing research of that. Malaysia, and if I'm not mistaken, Indonesia is as well. It's not a party yet to the UN convention with regards to the refugees, and this give a legal impact or an impact on the legal terms. Cannot to extend on that. Probably will take much time, of course, to share the history and the stories. Actually, there will be a plenty, or it will take many episodes, perhaps, right, Doctor, for
Yeah.
it to be shared also to the audiences. But for start or for today's, I think that was much more than I would say plenty. Inshallah, and hopefully we always try to ponder on the stories that you shared, Doctor. And before we go to the second round, I would like to remind that we open for Q&A at the end of the session. So if you do have questions, okay, inquiries, you can prepare it right now and try. And at the end of the session, inshallah, we will have the opportunity. We'll open the floor for questions which Doctor can try to answer. So perhaps from hearing the stories, you have further questions regarding the law, regarding the implications, so you may do so and prepare. All right, so we move on to the second one. A glass of water at least, or anything that you can grasp
Yeah, yeah.
in a physical session. I'm
Okay.
sure we will have the Specta Bureau or the catering bureau prepare for us, but since we are online, so we do it ourselves, inshallah. So no problem.
No
Hopefully
problem,
we can
inshallah.
have it, inshallah. So moving on. So now, as we actually mentioned regarding refugees, we come closer to the entity, okay, that brings us this talk for today, which is your mission. So you are Doctor, the advisor of your mission club and the vice chairperson of your mission for peace. So we believe that you have plenty or have been familiar with the club since long ago, and I'm sure you're quite aware. I'm sure you're aware of what your mission do and what is the focus of your mission. So we open the floor for you, Doctor, to share with us the initiative of your mission Club IM in executing or to execute for helping the refugees. Over.
Okay. In, uh, what I prepare before that, probably. Okay. Before we go on into U Mission Club and also U Mission, okay, they are in Malaysia. There are organization or NGOs who champion for refugees. They champions the rights of refugees and also they assist the refugees in Malaysia, providing them education, food, and also healthcare. Only recently, healthcare is being provided by Qatar Charity. Okay, so the biggest organization is United Nations, UNSCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Okay. Um, And then this is like from United Nations. And then we have Suhakam, Human Rights Commission of Malaysia. Suhakam work on human rights, all inclusive. So within that also refugee. And then for the NGOs, we have Malaysia for Syria. Before this week, they are called Malaysian Lifeline for Syria. Now they changed name, Malaysia for Syria. Mostly, this is from ABIM. Okay, and under My Care, they have so many other. This is umbrella humanitarian NGO, and then under it there's many others, small, I think 7 or something like that. And we have My Aqsa Defenders. It's also for the Aqsa. And My Fund Action is also with refugee. They have refugees and also the B40s. And Taiwan Buddhist Suu Kyi Foundation. Okay, Taiwan Buddhist Suu Kyi Foundation, actually, they have the first hospital for Rohingyas in Malaysia, in Pudu. And then they have few schools. They set up few schools to educate the Rohingyas. Except that they are very good in giving free education. Everything's free for the Rohingyas. But I asked them to allow me to go and visit them, but they will not allow me to go and visit their school. So kind of, I just wonder what they teach at school. Okay, why? What is their motivation to build school in Malaysia? Because they are Taiwan. But then this foundation is big. They have lots of money and they are very organized. And the school also has lots of facilities. And then we have Global Peace Malaysia, who also work for refugees all over the world. And Local Ihsan. And Local Ihsan, if you notice, they have lots of advertisement in Facebook. Okay, Global Ihsan, so many academicians in Hadith, the scholar of Hadith from Malaysia, like Kamilin Jamilim, Rozaimi, Abdul Basit, Dr. Abdul Basit. They are, I don't know whether they are actively involved. I know the one who is actively involved with Kamilin Jamilin, but they did advertisement for Global Ihsan, including this few ladies also. And then we have U-Mission for Peace. Among all these organizations, U-Mission for Peace is the smallest, the littlest organization that champion for the refugees. We begin with, at first, we don't begin with Rohingyas. At first, we begin with Syrian refugees. Okay. We begin our work with Syrian refugees, and also we'll have with the Palestinian, but our focus mainly Syrians, because we went first year 2013, 2014, like 4 or 5 times a year we went there. And then we kind of 2014, I think 2014, just before Ramadan, we start to also have the Rohingyas in Malaysia. This is because there is something happened. I forgot that I need to look at Rohingyas, okay, in Malaysia. That is for U-Mission for Peace. That is for organization in Malaysia. To name a few, of course, we have others, like for example, Yayasan Amal, Serantau Muslim. There's so many other small NGO that work for refugees. So these organization, they focus on refugees not only in Malaysia but also internationally. Okay, and as for U-Mission Club, okay, U-Mission Club was the founder of U-Mission Club is Asri, Muhammad Asri Ismail. Now he's the managing director of U-Mission for Peace Malaysia. Okay, in 2014, they start to register this Mission Club under Sensurf, okay, in 2014. At that time, I was not actively involved with Mission Club because the advisor was Dr. Dinon. Do you know Dr. Dinon was the director of IIUM Health Clinic? Now they changed the name, but the clinic, okay, he was the director of the clinic. And then in 2014, Asri, the first president and the founder of Mission Club, he was my student in my class. It was his first semester, first sem. And then in the class, I asked my student who want to come with me to Syria. And he said he won't, okay? So since then, he was my student, and then we never part. Okay, since 2014 up to now. So how many years already? So the beginning in 2014. And then at that time, I focused on international Mission for Peace, and all the Mission Club was done by Dr. Dinon. And then also Asri, of course, he give information, he share all the information of Mission Club with me because when we went to the border of Syria or inside Syria, we bring also Mission Club members. At that time, they are so lucky, so we bring them with me to the borders and into Syria in 2016. Okay, so Mission Club, normally one or two, I think 3 or 4 of them we bring to Syria. And the focus for the Mission Club is international, and then the focus international, but not really into Syria, because that is taken by Mission for Peace Malaysia. But the focus was in Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia, and Nepal. Okay, Nepal also not really, but then we bring also students, some Mission Club members to Nepal. I forgot which year. Okay, so that was the niche of Mission Club. So every year they will have program in Thailand and also program in Cambodia. And since 2016, 3 times, I forgot which year, Mission Club won the best volunteer club among all other clubs in the whole Malaysia. Okay, this is national. They won 3 times. Okay, for the program of Journey of Khalifa, JOK, to Cambodia. This is because I think the only club, Mission Club, the only students club among all other universities in Malaysia that can collect about 500,000 to bring to Cambodia every time. Okay, so that is a big number that student manage, 500,000 ringgit. Okay, that's why they won actually. Okay, so that is for Mission Club. Okay, before I go on to Mission for Peace, since I put it here, because I want to show you another slides for Mission for Peace. Okay, for Mission Club, how you want to help? Okay, probably you will hear refugees and the condition of their life. If you go visit them at their houses, sometimes they live not like human. Their place is not suitable for human habitation. In Malaysia, in Sungai Cincin, in Gombak, in Selayang, we bring our funder from UK, Humanity Without Borders. They cried looking at the way Rohingyas live in Malaysia. Okay, so probably you are interested to get involved. How you can reach out? Okay, you can become volunteers at any trusted organization. Okay, if you trust Mission for Peace, you can contact them and volunteer to be volunteers. Okay, any organization, I think they are willing to accept you and to train you to be a good volunteer. And then secondly, you can get involved with refugee community. Now we have you Usrah in action. You can propose to do Usrah for your Usrah in action, to give to help the refugee communities and then to solve some of their problem. Okay, and then you can help them according to best of your abilities. If you know how to teach, you can teach. If you know how um, to do business, you can help them to do business, or some skills that you can teach them. Okay, you can do that. But also you can share knowledge, you can give awareness, spread awareness to the Malaysian public on refugees, their plight, and also what Islam say about refugees. Okay, because Islam has their own law on the refugees. In fact, in Islam, okay, if a Muslim come to you to seek protection, it is your obligation to provide protection. It is not like you can choose not to help. When you have to help, because this is the religious obligation. When we die, we are responsible. Allah will ask us, what have we done to these refugees if they come to you and seek your protection? Okay, so probably we can learn from hijrah prophets and how prophets tie the relationship between the mujahirin and then also the ansar. And also you can join Unison Club or other club in IIUM under Sensive who work for refugees. And I think some Malaysian, they have also these, they are very racist, some of them, very racist, and then they don't want government to spend money for their refugees because they say that is their right, it's not the right of refugees. But I don't understand why, because as Muslim, once other Muslim come to ask for our help, we have to help. Okay, that is their right. And I just want to share, when I was in the US, I got married very young, and then my scholarship, $495 per month, which is a lot actually. But then they considered me as very poor. So, and then I got pregnant. And then when I was pregnant with my first son, they give me everything. I'm not citizen. My son is not citizen because my husband also Malaysian. I have free food for every week. They will give me free food every week. Okay, and then I have free food. I have also free medical checkup. Everything's free. But I'm just a student. I'm not a citizen. I mean, in the Western countries, they are more human. Okay, they understand this is human right. Okay, meaning that the right of human to get to be protected. Their life is to be protected, to have good, decent meal, to be healthy, and to get education. Okay, but in Malaysia, sometimes our Malay Muslim, sometimes some people are so racist. They think that our tax money should not be spent on the refugee. But you shouldn't think if the refugee has no education, the impact is on the society, on us. If they have no education, therefore they would resort to crime, and then that would affect our life. Okay, so that's why we need to help them. And then how to support this organization? Okay, you can give your time, your talent. Okay, if you have money, you can give donation. But I give here, what can you do from your seat? Let's say now we don't want to get out, we just want to stay home or in your dormitory. but also you can help. Okay, let's say for example, you can design marketing, graphic marketing, uh, posters, awareness, whatever that we can share on social media. And then if you ask New Mission Club, they need posters or they need something, you can design. Okay, and then you can also write for their website or social media. Okay, this is like you become content provider. You can get the point from the committees or from whatever program, and then you can just write for them. And also you can organize online events, just like our event today, and so many other events also. Uh, this is how we can help just by staying at home. Okay, so we give our time and also our creative energy to have all these NGOs. Okay, so why you want to be an volunteer? Why you need to be active? Okay, number one, and to be active is not, the impact is not so much on the community that we have, the Rohingya itself, like for example, but the impact is so much on us. Okay, when we help people, the impact is on us. Okay, we feel happy, happiness is on us. Okay, number one, the most important thing is what you learn in class, especially if you're coming from SOCA, sociology and anthropology, this is your area, social work. What you learn in class, you're going to practice. This is experiential learning. You put to practice whatever you learn in class. And for those who learn from legal, from law, they can also have according to law, from economy also. So there's so many things they can, what they learn in class, they can go and practice it with the refugees. So this is sort of experiential learning, hands-on learning, which is very important so that we can bridge the gap between theory and practice. Especially when you want to go to work, you have also already some experiences. Second, for me, and I think for all, is spiritual enhancement. Okay, spiritual enhancements in spiritual, not necessarily you do zikir at night and do 1,000 zikir, or go to the mosque and sit in the mosque and read the Quran and do zikir. Spiritual enhancement also can happen when you help others. Okay, when you help others and you have this sincerity, then you can enhance your spirituality. And also because the hadith says the best Muslim is the one who bring benefits to others. Okay, this is the best Muslim. If you stay in the mosque and do zikir, you don't help others. Okay, you are for yourself only, very selfish. But those who help others, they are caring toward others, they are the best Muslim. And also when we do on the ground, especially in the conflict areas, because we work with refugees, we can understand what tawakkal means. Because especially when we travel, we can understand totally what tawakkal means. Because here everything is a lot very easy. What we get, what we want, we don't have so much problem. But when we get involved with this program, we fly and there's turbulence. Okay, only your mind think of Allah. And then when you face difficulties on the road, when your plan fail, you focus on Allah. So you can understand what the meaning of tawakkal totally only through these experiences. Because whatever we plan, normally we don't do as we plan. Okay, because something will happen on the way. Because this is like conflict zones. We are talking with refugees and we work with refugees, and the behavior of refugees is also unpredictable. I remember I cannot breathe because they fight to get food from me, and they start to push my body against the wall of my van, and I cannot breathe. Okay, so this thing happens. unpredictable, even though you prepared, but then it happens, and then from here you always remember Allah. Okay. And number three, of course, you learn teamwork, and you also enhance your leadership qualities, because you need to plan, and then you need always to have plan B, plan C, a contingency plan, and then you need to have more sabar and patience when deal with our own members, not with the refugees, our own team. Because if we have 10 of us, we have 10 human behavior that we need to deal with. And some people have certain behavior that we hate, but this teach us to be patient. Okay. It's like getting involved, being a volunteer is a character enhancement, a character building. We build our character to become more empathy, to have sympathy, to also be patient, and to always um, think of many contingency plan. Okay, not just plan A. We should have also plan B, plan C, plan D. Especially when we travel far from Malaysia, we need to have that. And also being a volunteer, why? Because you realize the mission of IIUM of integration, internationalization, what we have, Islamization, and then comprehensive excellence. Because a comprehensive excellence you cannot learn in a classroom. Being a volunteer, you practice what you learn in the classroom. It is the practical part. Okay, so of course, if you want to list all, there's so many other benefits of being volunteer, and it's also the great feeling of giving. To help is happy, you know. You feel happy when you help others. Okay, and the great feeling of giving, and then you realize later, in order to receive, you need to give first, and then you will receive. And then there is also a question of balancing act, how to balance everything, because we are students. Okay, how can we do this to get good grade, and then also to be active? Okay, so number one, we need to be passionate. You have to have passion of helping others. I mean, you have to develop the feeling, the empathy feelings. Okay, of cannot just look of somebody suffering, but we need to help them. You have to need the passion, to be passionate, and then of course time management. Procrastinator cannot. Okay, they have to manage their time properly. Okay, and then of course we need support, institution support from the university, from the lecturers. A student have to go on their program, the lecturer should give them permission, excuse from class, and from family. There are students who want to come, but then the family says no. Okay, so also they cannot do it. And from peers, and also societies. Okay, if we have all this support system, we can do it, inshallah. All, not just the strong, the weak also can do it if we have support. Okay, okay, that's all for this. And now I will share with you your mission. Okay, your mission. And my experience also. Okay, your mission, we only registered last year legally. Okay, it's legally registered under ROS last year. Before this, we registered under PLT. PLT, private limited liability. Okay, PLT, I forgot. Liability terhad. Liability terhad, PLT. Okay, why we registered under that? Okay, so first, because we registered under PLT, therefore we have our account, Maybank account, under Asri and also Dinon, Dr. Dinon's name. So the two will sign the check whatsoever. Because it's quick, it's easy, we don't need to report. That's why we, and then since 2021, we start to work with other NGO, which is Yayasan Telekom, Permai, and also Yayasan Hasana. Then we need to be legally known as under ROS, Registers of Societies. And because also we want to establish a school for Rohingyas. Okay, that's why we register legally in 2021. But we work since 2013. Okay, so this is our chairman, Dr. Dinon. Dr. Dinon, okay, me and Dr. Dinon. Dr. Dinon focus on Southeast Asia, Cambodia, Thailand, Borneo, Indonesia, and also Nepal. Okay, but me focus on Uganda and also Syria and Turkey, and also the Balkan countries when we went to visit for networking, for NGO, to build our networking, and also with the NGO in the UK. So we need to build our networking to get more support financially. And also why we go to the Balkans, because we think that we have some expertise that we can help them. So we did program with NGO in Macedonia, and we established also that work with NGO in Albania and Kosovo. So this is the managing director of U-Mission for Peace, Asri. Probably some of you know Asri. Okay, and this is our motto: in humanity we trust. This is the border of Syria, Turkey, Syria, right smack at the border, at the gate of, but this is inside Turkey. But if you, in a few meters you walk, there is a gate that connected to Syria. Okay, these are Syrian refugees. The pictures. Okay, our vision. What we want to become a competent organization. We want to actively involve in humanitarian activities that provide and empower all those people who need help, especially in the Muslim societies in Malaysia and globally. Okay. So our mission is, first, we want to aid the neglected. Okay. The neglected is here we focus on refugees and also B40s. Since the pandemic, we cannot go outside. We focus on the B40s in Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak. And we advocate to give basic human rights to all those vulnerable people. And we want to empower them also with education and skill development. And also we act as a platform to cultivate spirit of volunteerism and also humanitarianism for those who want to help or to get involved. Okay. These are the values that we hold on at U-Mission for Peace: humanitarian, impartial. Okay, we accept all, we include all. There is no discrimination according to nationality, race, religion, belief, class, or political opinion. Okay. In our place, okay, we have no more like left. First, left from different. We don't, as long as you can work, we accept that. Okay, and we are impact driven project that give benefits to our beneficiaries. Okay, and then our values of volunteerism. Okay, we want to connect with various communities to provide them for the communities better environment, and for us, we cultivate our own professional, practical, social skills. Okay, and we hold on into accountability. Okay, and we are very good in providing reports especially financial report. That's why last year, 2021, we get almost 500,000 from Telecom Malaysia, from Yayasan Telekom, for the B40s and for the program of Kita Jaga Kita, the pandemic, Bendera Putih, and so on. Okay. And this year for Kembara Santun Sabah, Kembara Santun Ummah to Sabah, we get also their fund. At first we didn't expect, so we already collected our fund from the public, but then the day we travel, we receive funding from Telecom also, and also Yayasan Hasanah. So we handle really big money from them. But also we for the refugees in Syria and Turkey, it is totally public funding. Okay, funding from TICM and also from Yayasan Hasanah is totally for Malaysian, and also for B40s and refugees in Malaysia only. So these are the board of trustee, Dr. Dinon, me, Vice President 1, Cik Puan Suzana. She's the president of the founder of Put Little Smiles on Their Faces, an NGO. She has a very generous group of donors. When she asked for donation, it's like in 1 week or 2-3 days, she got thousands already. And this is Makku and Asri. This is Jenan, same with Dr. Dinon. Alumni, they come from this same school, and Asri, okay, they come from the same school. Since they also give big money every time we have program. And then Azrul, also the president of Mission Club before. And this is the management team that has salaries. This is non-salary, okay. This is they work full-time. Asri as managing director, Siti Khadijah. Asri the president Mission Club. Siti Khadijah also the president of Mission Club before. And Suraya Hanim and Afiq also member of Mission Club. Okay, these are our humanitarian, what we did. Okay, we provide medical and health relief, food relief, volunteering, water, sanitary and hygiene, especially this one in Cambodia and Yemen, and provide them shelter also, so they live in this, and education. Education, we focus only 3. Education is in Malaysia, Rohingyas. In Syria, one Syrian school. Okay, and then in Cambodia, Intact. Okay, so we have them. Okay, this is the SDG goals that we focus on: no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, clean water and sanitation, and partnership. Okay, so these are our project. Rays of Hope School. Okay, Rays of Hope Learning Center here begin in 2021. We start building in 2020, renovating and all, and start this school in 2021. And then Misi Kembara Khalifah, this is JOK, Journey of Khalifah to Cambodia. This is since 2012. And Race on Ramadan, okay, now we name is Race and Ramadan. Okay, before this, we have Ramadan 8, blah, 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 Rohingyas 8 for Ramadan. But now, we all, whether in Malaysia or in Syria, we call Race or Ramadan. Okay. So this is like yearly, we have this. And Syrian Winter Aid, and pandemic kita ada kita, and then with under kita ada kita, we have Malaysia Pulih, Bendera Putih. So we have this, and we have also those who come and seek help. But then we do, of course, due diligence. We do background checkup before we can approve any money to be given to them. and also the visually impaired from Brickfield. You know, the tukang uruk. Okay, they cannot work for 2 years. They have no money. So this group of tukang urut, um, how many of 10 of them we give them money, cash money, so that they can survive. And then we have Kembaran this is like the latest Kembaran Santun Ummah is for the Borneo, Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, this is the first that we have done. Before this, Dr. Dinon did in Nabawan, Sabah, and then this is the second in Sampurna. So we went island hopping and do circumcision, and also we give them food aid. So these are our partners. The biggest donation that we get is from Humanity Without Borders, from Leicester, Birmingham. So they give in 80% of the cost of the school, Rohingya school, Race of Hope Learning Center, is borne by Humanity Without Borders. Plus, they also give us money for medical fees for all Rohingyas who had to go to hospital, and also we give monthly food supplies to some selected Rohingyas. Okay. That's Humanity Without Borders. And the second biggest contributor is Smiles. Look, let's put a smile on their faces. Cik Puan Suzana Sulaiman. And the rest, and then we have also, of course, from Telekom Malaysia, Yayasan Telekom Malaysia, and Yayasan Hasanah. And also Jenan and Sekolah Menengah Teknik Tuanku Jaafar, Negeri Sembilan. They also give a lot of money to us. The rest, we just collaborate. Okay. And also, before this, Selkah Soboh also. But then after, sometimes they didn't give anymore. Okay, and that's it for your mission. And if you want to know the stories of what happened at the border, you can ask questions. Okay. Okay, that's all I have for my slides. Back to you, Mubarak.
Thank you, Doctor. Masya Allah. Really well prepared, Doctor. Masya Allah. So that was a a good one, a very insightful, and a very, we would say, comprehensive what we say, sharing made by Doctor regarding Mission Club, as well as other agencies or NGOs or societies which also contributes or champion of refugees. It was actually, this is my bad actually, Doctor, because we changed the order of the question. It should be,
Yes.
you prepared is actually is to start with the other agencies and then Mission Club, but you did well, Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Doctor. So you explained it and covered the two questions. So hopefully you have filled another glass of water, Doctor. That you
Okay.
have a break, Doctor, and as well the participants as well. So that was a very good sharing, that we actually came to realize that there are many people or many agencies are also well aware of the existence of the refugees, and they do support and try to fight. Although we still lack, or we would say we try to invite as many people as possible to help this community, because it is with together that we can achieve, inshallah, the best condition that we have. And of course, one of the questions is also for that the doctor shares, how can the students, especially us as a student or the public, to actually support, or what can we give to the group? And Doctor has clearly mentioned in a very, I would say, very interesting way, whereby what can we do? The simplest thing is, even doesn't necessarily that we always have to be on field. It doesn't necessarily that we have to be wearing vests and going on boat. It can be as simple as we sitting here at home and support however we can, and the least we can do is, I always add, is that we make dua. That is the least we can do. I mean, if you cannot do anything, the least that you can show that you care or to support is that you make dua for the refugees, and you make dua that Allah eases those who are on field, or those who are really contributing or fighting to help these people, this community. And of course, I also like to highlight what Dr. had mentioned, that it is indeed to help is also is actually is one of it, the opportunity. I came to realize that, I think during my third year in degree, is that sometimes to help or to be on field is also a risky. Not everyone, they don't choose that way, but because maybe they lack the support of the family members, they lack, as what Doctor mentioned, someone wants to join but the parents say no, or the surroundings, or probably let's say the university lack the facilities to allow you to join. Alhamdulillah, we UIA, we have censor, we have the clubs under censor which help us to be volunteers. So these kind of things is one of the things that we should always be thankful. And if you have the opportunity, take it, do what you can to help. If not directly, then at least indirectly. And as you can see, your mission is one of the bodies, or one of the great bodies. Although Dr. mentioned that it is the in comparison with the others, it is little, quite little, but I'm sure it is growing, right, Doctor? Inshallah, so it will be one of those big bodies or figures, inshallah, in the near future. And doesn't necessarily be big. What measures, or what is the most important is what we do, and the niyyah. So to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't necessarily be a big society or big entity, so long as what we do can be compared, or it can be compared, it can be bigger than those big entities, inshallah. And you mentioned you can also follow for you mission club, especially in the IG. We have IG, Instagram, you mission club, IAM underscore IAM. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure there is in the poster, so you can follow the social media to actually have also known. Uh, Doctor had a very comprehensive and well prepared. Well slide. It was interesting to see. It's like a portfolio, I would say, Doctor. Portfolio
Yeah.
of human, yeah. So yeah. So that is actually a very good one to see, especially UM for Peace, or the history of U
Okay.
Mission.
One
We
more
can,
thing I forgot to tell you. Your mission club, 100% of donation we give to beneficiary. We didn't take any for cost to give salaries for our staff. We didn't take from donation. We didn't take from TM or Yasan Hasanas. All cost for our management cost borne by Humanity Without Borders from UK.
oh, mashallah. Okay, that's interesting to hear. So yeah, so don't you worry to contribute to your mission. Inshallah, 100% of your money will go to the apa tu beneficiaries. Especially, it's not about the matter of whether we can take it or not, but it's good. I mean, your mission is actually a big entity which can use or can utilize most or all of the money of all the donations to be used for the programs. I mean, that is actually very good, and it shows the strength of the technical part of the entity of UM4 Peace. That is actually very quite interesting to hear, Doctor. So moving on, Doctor, ready? We go to the last questions, perhaps. Boleh?
Okay.
Inshallah.
Okay.
So we actually had a question regarding your experience, but because of the time, and you actually shared quite a lot of the experience throughout the other questions regarding your opportunity to actually interview. One of the experience you shared about that you were not able to breathe. Okay, that was actually, I hope it does not scare the people, but you always have to be prepared, as what Doctor said, which in the end it will teach us to be one of the more good qualities to have tawakkal ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we move on directly to the last question, which is the importance or the hikmah of helping this vulnerable community as a capable student, and at the same time we try to balance studies. So especially in the context where this is a club, especially U Mission is a club under university where the volunteers are as well students. who have their studies duties. So what are your sharing, Doctor, or your discussion on this, on the importance of hikmah in balancing
Okay.
between wisdom as well?
Okay. So I already talked about balancing, how you can balance it, but then why you need to be volunteers? What is the importance of volunteerism or volunteering to students? Okay. Um, Number one, this is volunteerism. We of course the beneficiaries, they will feel the effect, okay, of our help, but the most importantly is the good is on us, to us, not to our beneficiaries. Okay. uh, when we work with any NGOs or any volunteer club, we actually help ourselves. We actually enhance our own skills. Okay. We actually enhance our relationship with Allah, our relationship with people, and our relationship with the environment, depending on what we choose to help or to volunteer in. Okay. So we should not look at the benefit is for the one who receive. Of course, they will receive the benefit, but the most important thing is for us. Okay. Number one, the biggest benefit is your social skills. You can enhance your social skills and leadership skill by joining any university club, by volunteering. Okay, those who are active in the university, not just okay nerds, okay, only read, only get an A. I'm a kind of shameful to share, but I will share. You know, my daughter, she's the best student for SPM in her school. Uh, our neighbor just Sekolah Al Amin, and then in her Asasi Science, they have Pusat Asasi Science, I think they call it. She got 4.0 CGPA, and then CGPA is really 3 point above. Okay, doing chemical engineering in University Malaya, but she didn't know how to interact with people, so she kind of book person, and now she's just happy staying home and just work. I mean, for me, she should look for other work, but she's just happy doing whatever she's doing. I think that because at the university level, she's not that active. She's focused on her study only. Okay, and then I know these few students of mine whose CGPA was like just 2 point something, not even 3. Okay, but right after finish final exam, final year, final semester, she got job already. Why? Because when she goes for interview, she has all this portfolio that she went to Morocco for youth program, Muslim youth, um, international Muslim youth convention. She went to this Korea, everywhere. But she has no father. She is an orphan. But how can she earn money? She work teaching Quran. She cleans people's houses, lecturers' houses, ironing lecturers' clothes in order to gain money so that she can go to these places. Because of her experience getting involved with all these activities, she got job very quickly. And she knows how to handle herself in interviews or within high level people, because she got used to it while in the university. So we can say that going to classes is very important, but then what you learn in class, you should practice it by getting involved. So volunteerism is not is for your own self, for your own future, because as most importantly now, job is very difficult to get, and those who are active normally Some of my students, when she graduated, she didn't even look forward because she already worked while she has her own business, and she's not even 30 yet, but she has 3-4 houses already. She built her own houses by she has land given by her parents, and then on that land she built her own. So she hired contractor on her own. Like I think now she has 5. So she rent these houses, and now she just like earn passive money, and then she loves to learn, so she keep learning, and she got income. And she has a business while in the university, and that business she gave to her brothers to handle, and she just go and study. Okay, learn from this sheikh, from that sheikh. Okay, so that is important that she learned to have many customers, because she learned how to get involved, to be with people. Um, Not only get involved within the university with friends, but most importantly, going into the society and get involved with people in the society and start to network. And when you graduated, you would understand the power of networking. Okay, when you in school, still in the university, you will not understand. When I was in the university before, and my lecturers talk about networking, I don't really listen to them. But then when I start to do my NGO, I see the importance and the power of networking. And because why, even though we are like small NGO, like consists of like very active, a handful, only less than 10 people, and of course we have so many volunteers that, but then the movers only a few people, because we have the power of network. Okay, how we know how to get money, because I remind myself and my team that when we travel, when we wait for a flight, we should talk to people, to our neighbor. Okay. So we start talking, and then start taking their phone numbers and all, and start to ask how we can help them, how they can help us. This is how we did it. And that's why even though we are small NGO, we get fund from Yayasan Telekom and also Yayasan Hasanah, because of networking. Okay. And because of the power of networking, we go places until the UK and Turkey to get funding, which Alhamdulillah they are willing to fund. And there's one more NGO who also willing to help us fund our Rohingya project in Malaysia. Alhamdulillah. So this can be done, and networking is only can be done when you get involved with clubs and you volunteer. Because if you stay in the university, you network with a friend, which is good also. Because if your friend work with at certain places, like for example, certain companies, they would not advertise. They will ask their friend, do you know anybody who can work with me at this is? That's why you need to have friends in order to be successful. Okay, they're saying that if you want to be successful or go far, you need a team. If you not go far, but if you not go fast but you work alone. But if you not go far, you need a team, and the team can be built through networking, inshallah. Of course, there's so many other benefits of volunteerism. And for me, as a student, being a volunteer and also uphold our responsibility as a student is equal. Meaning that volunteer is very important, as doing our responsibility as a student in the university. Okay. when I was a student, also I was very active student. Okay, not just even though it was in the West, but in the US at that time, it's very free. So we have all this program called Islamic Week, Islamic Interfaith Debate, in the interfaith dialogue between Islam and Christianity and Judaism, introducing Islam to the town, to the cities, and hold our program at hotel, and we invited the mayors. Okay, so that was like my activities. And also I give talk at the church. They invited me to talk on Islam, to introduce Islam to people, or to students, to church student actually. So I prepared my introduction to Islam to all the students who want to know about Islam at that time. And because of that, I have this self-confidence. And when I want to work, okay, how do I get my first job? I go to a company, I say, this is I can do for your company. So it's kind of, your company has this problem, this is what I can do to your company. So they took me as a staff, and then I give them condition. If I want to work, I will have to bring my daughter to work. They say, okay, you can bring your daughter to work. Okay, you have to have that confidence. But that confidence you learn when you volunteering, not in class. Okay, you learn that because you practice your networking, your social skills when you get involved with people, inshallah. I hope I answer your question, Mubarak.
Yes, indeed. That is a very good answer. Perhaps is my voice still audible?
Yes.
Because I don't know, I just had a disruption of internet, so hopefully it is fine. But Alhamdulillah, I'm back. And thank you, Doctor. I did not miss, because I directly used my phone, so I did not miss any of the points. It is indeed, yes. That is actually what it is. What Doctor has mentioned is actually, we could say it's all of the importance as a student and what we get, and the importance of the hikmah of us in balancing with our studies. So if I try to summarize what Doctor has said, I remember firstly what I would like to highlight is regarding the definition of volunteerism. The benefit is not always on the beneficiaries but on you. A true volunteerism will always involve the benefits towards the beneficiaries and towards you. So if you're joining volunteerism that does not benefit you, then there's something wrong somewhere. Although it is impossible, but there's always a benefit for you as much as how you benefit others. And that is always the true definition of a volunteerism. And secondly, Doctor had highlighted regarding the skills, the soft skills especially, that you will gain in joining volunteerism especially, and better be some sort of focus. That means it can be towards refugees, it can be towards any others, and it can be in any clubs or societies, so long as it benefits others and it has the element of volunteerism. Of course, it helps, and Doctor also had checked the personal experience. We always say that each and everyone has his own journey or his own boat, but indeed, with skills you can obtain through volunteerism, it enhances your capabilities, which will help you in obtaining or in your future life. So I always thank the clubs or that had helped me in becoming who I am today. There are many people whom I know, including myself, we were not those who are in confidence to actually speak in front of people, but now here we are. So it was not other than, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the opportunity that we had in joining the club. So if you have the opportunity, do always join. And lastly, having said that, always balance between your studies and your societies or volunteerism. So in the end, we are all here as students. So even being a very good volunteerism, if your CGPA is not, if your studies are not that good, then you have to have a check and balance, and vice versa. You are good in studies but not joining and try to explore other areas is also you have to have a check and balance. Always try to balance between the two. Thank you very much, Doctor, for the insightful sharing on all the questions, starting from how the refugees started and they were in here or here in Malaysia, and the bodies or entities, the NGOs that help in or helping this community, and especially enlightening us regarding U Mission Club, IIU Mission Club, IIUM, as well as UM for Peace, U Mission for Peace, and lastly, the advice or the sharing regarding us as students in indulging with this sort of activities. So I think with that, we move on to we open the floor for question and answers sessions. So if you do have questions, do we have any questions here? Then I will deliver it to Doctor for her to answer the question. So we open the floor.
You can write also if you want.
Yes, you do.
In the
You
chat
can.
box.
Yes, in the chat box. That is the one of what we say the advantages of online, right? The online talks.
Okay, there's one question. It says, what inspired to keep volunteering despite the limits of border? What did you get? Okay.
Please, Doctor.
What my inspiration? Okay, I have this big why. Okay, what inspired me at first is because I plan my life for death. I plan my life for death. So that's what inspired me. Okay, I have to die rich. I don't want to die poor. So then so I don't care really if I give to people and people stab my back. I don't care, because what I care is my future when I die. Okay, that is my motivation. In fact, that was my motivation since young. My motivation is always preparing for death. That's why I become a teacher, because I want to share beneficial knowledge. And then my children, I prepare them so that they can pray for me. And also I spend a lot of money for Sadaqatul Jariyah. And for example, during this Ramadan, every Ramadan I put aside 50,000 ringgit for donation only. Okay, not for our own self. I don't spend for myself, but I need to spend 50,000 ringgit. And then of course, coming to month, we have Raya Haji. Normally I would slaughter about 24, 25 for my own self, all over the world. Okay. That is because my preparation for death. Okay, and I don't know. I think I have not done enough. Okay. And I'm not a good person. I have no knowledge that is like not a scholar, in Islamic scholar. I can, and I don't really pray a lot. I mean, I don't get up every night to pray tahajjud. No, okay. Also, I fast during Ramadan and also Shawwal, but I don't. And then also, I'm afraid that I have not delivered what I'm supposed to deliver, and you have not understand according to the syllabus whatsoever. And how can I help myself? So I need to cover that with giving back. On my salary, I give back so that I don't take what is not mine. And my husband is more strict than me. Okay, he's like he has to own two laptops. One is from business. He works with Petronas, and one is his own, because when he want to check like Facebook or send messages, personal message, he will not use Petronas laptop, because this is not amanah according to him. Okay, he would change, so he always have two. But luckily, I have only once. First, when I like 11 years ago, and then you use 2 years, and then I keep buying mine. So never mind. So I can use because it's mine totally. Okay. University didn't give me anything. Okay. Uh, but my husband is very strict on that. On time also. Time that you have to work like 8 to 5, whether you totally spend 8 to 5 on work or you have done something else. If you have done something, so you have to cover that through other time, or to have work late at night, or give sadaqah because the salary is not yours. Okay. So that is what my husband. Also, that's very important because my husband, a lot of his salary, like about 20% or 30% of his salary is for charity. And his salary is a lot. His salary can pay 20 young engineers monthly. So he gives 30% for me for charity. So that's why I can work. And I don't use for my own personal purposes because we all gonna die. Okay. And we want to die prepared, inshallah. Okay, that's my motivation. Any other question?
Thank you, Doctor, for the sharing. Hope that answers the question. Okay, that is indeed a very beautiful one, Doctor. And I think I believe that kind of such motivation will drive you till the end of your day or till the end of time, inshallah.
Inshallah, I hope so, inshallah.
Because you know, if we have materialistic motivation, such motivation may die. You know, if our motivation is that we want to get money, one day when we don't get money, then we will not continue. If we earn any other materialistic, then if that materialistic item is gone, then perhaps we will not continue. But such that kind of motivation, which pushes you, it will never die, because the fact that we will die, that it will never gonna change. So hopefully, it will always drive you, Doctor, and hopefully we can also be inspired by such kind of motivation to actually drive us to continue. And that is a very good one, because and you're the second person, Doctor, I heard saying that thing in this past 1 month. Perhaps I remember speaking to one of the NGOs as well, the head, when we asked him, "Can you describe one thing about yourself?" He drew a grave, and he said, "I don't know. I'm easier to decide things when I think about death. It's like when he wants to decide something, especially when he's have a decision to make between the two. So when he thinks death, then it will be much easier. Which is the one that will help him in the hereafter.